You're not lazy, you're just lost. You wake up tired, you doom scroll through your phone first thing in the morning, you have no routine, you have no structure, you have no sense of direction. You just continue doing things that lower your rate of vibration. So you feel anxious, you feel depressed, you feel lost. Now you know you're meant for more, but for some reason you just can't seem to get out of this vicious cycle. See, most men don't need more motivation. What they need is a mission. And that mission begins when you stop treating life as a joke and start building a solid foundation like a fucking warrior. So in this video, I'm going to show you the exact process that I've used and all my clients use in order to go from undisciplined and lost to a man that wakes up with clarity, the power to attack his day, and a sense of purpose. So let's get into it. So here's why you still feel lost. The reason you feel lost is because you're stuck in a cycle of reactivity instead of creation. You're constantly reacting to what your environment is throwing at you versus creating the life that you want. This means that you have no structure, you have no routine, you have no standards, and you have no mission. And most of your habits are low frequency habits. This is where your energy leaks out of, which, poor sleep, poor nutrition, a lack of exercise, doom scrolling, watching porn, and just being overall lazy in life. This is what drains your energy. This is what drains your life force. And that's why you feel like shit all the time. And just in general, you lack self-confidence because you've lied to yourself over and over again by saying, I'll start tomorrow or I'll start next week. And you may start, you'll go for a day or two, and then you fall off again. You're not consistent. You're not consistent with doing the things that you say you're going to do. And this makes you lose confidence in yourself. So even when you say you're going to do something, you actually don't believe that you're capable of doing it. And look, it's not your fault that no one taught you how to be a man of purpose, but it is your responsibility to become one. So here's what's required in order for you to become a man of purpose and to become more disciplined. It starts with building a solid foundation. Like every great structure, you have to have a solid foundation. And the foundation of your life is built on three things: sleep, exercise, nutrition. If you just dial in on these three, 90% of your problems will simply go away. And here's what that looks like. So sleep is the number one most important thing when it comes to your energy and the way that you feel overall. Because when we sleep, this is when our mind and body recover. So the best way to get solid sleep is to minimize lights, especially blue lights that come from screens, at least 1 hour before bed. Implement a stretching routine, and then also take time to wind down before going to bed. So don't fall asleep with Netflix on the TV and hope that you're just going to feel rested in the morning. You're not. Don't scroll your phone for the last hour before you go to sleep and fall asleep with your phone in your hand and expect to feel great in the morning. You're not. So dial in your sleep. And there's a lot that goes into getting quality sleep, but if you just minimize the screens before bed and implement a wind down period before you actually go to sleep, you'll see massive benefits. And try to get at least 7 to 9 hours of sleep every single night. And another thing that helps with sleep is dialing in your circadian rhythm. The best way to do this is to go to sleep and wake up at the same time. My routine is from 9 p.m. to 4 a.m. And at first it was really hard, but once I started doing that on a regular basis, my circadian rhythm kind of balanced itself, and I'm now able to get up at 4 a.m. without even thinking about it, without feeling tired, groggy, or anything like that. And that is 7 hours of sleep, so that's plenty. So dial in your sleep is number one. The next thing is nutrition. This is really simple. You're either fueling your future or you're feeding your failure. The only way to fuel your future is to eat whole foods. Now, I don't care about any fad diets or anything like that. It's very simple. Eat whole foods. Don't eat ultra processed garbage. Stay away from the boxed food. Stay away from frozen dinners. Stay away from any preservatives. Stay away from any artificial flavoring. Stay away from any dyes. Stay away from anything that doesn't come from nature itself. It's literally that fucking simple. eat whole foods and get proper hydration. So drink a lot of water. And the third thing for a solid foundation is exercise. You must move your body like your life depends on it, because quite frankly, it fucking does. There's a direct correlation between muscle mass and longevity. So the more muscle mass you have, the longer you're going to live. And if you don't exercise at all, you're just going to feel worse off. Now, I know it sounds counterintuitive, but the more you exercise, the more energy you're going to have. So ensure that you get some form of exercise in your day-to-day routine. All you have to do is get at least 30 minutes of walking in. I highly recommend weight training and building muscle, but if you don't want to do that, that's completely up to you. Quite frankly, I don't give a fuck. I'm just letting you know that if you do lift weights and you walk and you become pretty much a semi-professional athlete, which is what I consider myself because I exercise every single day. I go for extended runs. I recover like a fucking athlete. So I treat my life as if though I am a semi-professional athlete, because quite frankly, what this means is that if I optimize my exercise, then I'm going to live a healthier and longer life and more fulfilled life. So dial in your sleep, nutrition, exercise, and you'll solve 90% of your problems. Now, once you build that foundation, you want to focus on building the pillars of your temple, right? So these pillars consist of mind, body, spirit, and finances. So these are the 4 pillars that hold up that temple. But first, you must build that foundation in order to build that temple, in order to build the pillars of the temple. So let's break down all 4 pillars and kind of what it looks like to focus on mind, body, spirit, and finances all separately. So mind is essentially you focusing on training your mind, kind of like how you train your body, you train your mind. Some of the best ways to do this are through meditations and breath work, but also what you want to focus on is rewiring your limiting beliefs. So first of all, figuring out what limiting beliefs you carry, and then figuring out how to rewire those. So if one of your limiting beliefs is that all rich people are evil, but you want to make a lot of money, then chances are you're not going to make a lot of money, because one part of you believes that all rich people are evil, which is stopping you from making money because you don't want to be evil. And then another part of you wants the riches, but you can't get that if you have 2 conflicting limiting beliefs. So figure out what some of your limiting beliefs are and work on rewiring those beliefs into more empowering beliefs. And another simple way to work on the mind is through journaling. I do what I call a stream of consciousness writing, where I literally sit down in the morning and I just write. I write for 10, 15, 20 minutes. I write whatever comes to my mind. No filters, no nothing. I literally write whatever comes up. If some weird noises come up in my head and some thoughts come up, I literally write down those fucking weird noises. Whatever it is, you just write it down. So journaling is another way. You can also do guided journaling, where you have specific prompts and you just answer those questions. So yeah, just journaling, meditation, breath work, and rewiring those limiting beliefs. And just doing mindset work in general. And then body kind of correlates with the exercise portion of the foundation, but it goes further into it. It's not just getting exercise, it's also to do with recovery and doing mobility work and just making sure that you overall feel great in your body. So I like to incorporate a mixture of everything. So I'll do yoga, I'll do some mobility stuff, I'll do strength training, I'll do cardio, you name it. Like I do all kinds of shit to make sure that my body is functioning at its most optimal level. And in order to do that, you have to integrate a bunch of different things that kind of work together. So if you just strength train, but you don't do any mobility work, then you're going to have trouble wiping your ass because you're not going to be mobile enough, right? So ensure that you are actively working on building muscle, but also making sure that you stay fluid and active throughout your entire body. So that's the body portion of it. Now, the spirit pillar is simply going to involve something that isn't tangible, like the body, for example. But you will notice it internally. You'll notice that you just feel better overall. You feel more fulfilled. You feel happier in life. And the way to work on the spiritual pillar is through meditation. Again, kind of like the mind. If you focus on stillness and quiet the thoughts in your head, you're simply working on the spiritual pillar. But also, spending time out in nature will refuel your spiritual bucket. Being aligned with your purpose, which if you continue doing this, you're going to naturally align yourself with your purpose. And doing any spiritual practices that you may have, if you're a Muslim, reading the Quran or praying. If you're a Christian, reading the Bible. If you are whatever religion you belong to, just doing something that connects you to God, that connects you to spirit, connects you to the universe, connects you to the cosmos, whatever you want to call it. You must do something on a daily basis that connects you to that higher realm. So that's mind, body, soul. Now, finances are another important pillar of building that solid temple, because the world we live in nowadays, finances are extremely important, right? So in order to dial in your finances, there are only a few things you must worry about, and that is expenses and income, right? But it goes a little bit deeper. So the income aspect of it is you want to make sure that you're earning money with integrity. You don't want to do no shady shit. You don't want to do anything illegal. You want to do everything by the books, and you want to earn with integrity. You want to ensure that you are providing value to the world in exchange for finances. So that value is completely different for everybody, but make sure it aligns with your values, it aligns with your integrity, and you do things that you're proud of doing, or at least that you feel like you're not hurting anybody and you're not hurting yourself. And then expenses is pretty much vote with your wallet. What this means is that don't spend money on anything that you are against. I know this sounds weird, but a lot of people fucking do this. A lot of people are against girls and OnlyFans, but they're the ones that fucking spend the money on it. A lot of people are against drugs, but yet they spend money on drugs. A lot of people are against drinking, but yet they spend money on drinking. A lot of people are against anything that is detrimental to their health, but yet they spend money on things that are detrimental to their health. So use your money wisely and spend it on things that are going to enrich your life, such as experiences or even like certain physical things that you actually get joy out of. Don't buy physical things because you want to prove something to somebody else or you want to be better than somebody else. Do it solely for yourself. And the last thing I want to say about finances is make sure that you're keeping track of your income and expenses. So have a budget of how much money you are bringing in and how much money you are spending, and make sure that your income is greater than your expenses. I know this sounds like common sense, but you'd be surprised how many people actually spend more than they bring in, which means they go into debt and then they become a slave to the lender. So dial in the mind, body, spirit, and finances if you want to build a solid temple. So focus on the foundation first: sleep, exercise, nutrition, and then build the pillars. And before you know it, if you continue focusing on these, then you'll have that solid temple. So how do we put all of this into practice? This sounds like a lot, but I promise you it's not. It literally takes 1 hour of your entire day, and you'll be able to continue building this every single day. So the way that I look at it is routines are rituals, and rituals create results. So here's the blueprint that I give to all of my clients. We focus on 3 things: morning mastery, day mastery, and night mastery. Now, to get the middle one out of the day, which is day mastery, this is most likely your 9 to 5, or if you have a business, this is your business. This is where the finances aspect comes into play. So day mastery is focused on bringing in more income or creating something that you want to create in this world. Morning mastery and night mastery are focused on mind, body, spirit. And here's what that looks like. For 30 minutes in the morning and 30 minutes at night minimum, I tell my clients to spend 1 hour in the morning, 1 hour at night. But At a bare minimum, you want to do 30 minutes in the morning, 30 minutes at night, and you want to focus 10 minutes on the mind, 10 minutes on the body, 10 minutes on the soul. Now, it's up to you to decide what you want to do and in what order you want to do it. But the important thing is to not do anything else until you've taken care of the mind, body, spirit. So this could look like 10 minutes of high intensity workout, just maybe doing push-ups, sit-ups, squats, whatever it is. Do 10 minutes of it without stopping. This is to get your heart rate up and to get you kind of going for the day. The mind aspect of it, you want to focus on doing some kind of upregulated breath work or a sort of a meditation, right? And then for the spirit, what I like to focus on, what I tell my clients to do is have a gratitude practice. So spend 10 minutes just thinking about 5 things that you're grateful for, and not only thinking about it, but actually feeling the gratitude for those things. That is the key. If you're not feeling that gratitude, then you're not actually doing it right. So feeling is the key. Focus on gratitude. It could literally be as simple as being grateful for your matcha. It could be as simple as being grateful for your phone. It can be as simple as just being grateful to be alive. But the key here is to actually feel that gratitude towards life, feel that gratitude towards your phone or whatever it is that you're grateful for. So spend 10 minutes on mind, spend 10 minutes on body, spend 10 minutes on spirit. And you'll find that your day is going to be much better than if you just spent the first 30 minutes scrolling through your phone. And pretty much a very similar thing at night, except in the morning, we want to raise our frequency and raise our energy levels so that way we're ready to attack the fucking day. At night, we want to actually wind down. We want to slow down. We want to slow our heart rate. So instead of doing a high intensity workout, we're going to focus on something like mobility or yoga or something that is kind of more relaxed but still allows you to move the body. For the mind, we want to do a down-regulated breathwork session or a guided meditation of some sort. And then for the spirit, it's exactly the same thing. You want to focus on gratitude. Now remember, it's extremely important to focus on the feeling of the gratitude. Be grateful, but feel grateful is even more important. Don't just think about what you're grateful for. Actually feel what it feels like to be grateful for those things. So mind, body, spirit, first thing in the morning, last thing at night. I promise this will completely change your fucking life. All right, but here's the truth that nobody really tells you. Chances are you probably already know what to do. So maybe some of the stuff that I've already mentioned, like you already know that you need to be doing this, but why are you not doing it? Now, this is the secret sauce. The secret sauce is accountability and community. Without accountability, you probably won't stick with it. If there's nobody there to hold you accountable to do what you said you would do, you most likely won't do it. Think about it this way. If you want to go to the gym and you do it alone, it's very easy to skip the gym. You just simply say, I don't want to go, or I don't feel like going. But now, what if there are 2 people that you agree to go to the gym with and they're at the gym waiting for you? If you don't feel like it, chances are you're still going to probably go because you don't want to let them down. So accountability is an extremely important piece of turning into a disciplined and purpose-driven warrior. Now, the other part of it is brotherhood or community. The reason this is extremely helpful is because most of the time we as men tend to be like an island. We tend to do things on our own. We tend to not want to ask for help. We tend to stay away from people when we feel like shit. We tend to retreat when we don't feel good. So without a brotherhood, you'll keep slipping back into isolation and weakness, and this will just continue repeating the cycle over and over again because you'll feel like shit, which means you won't do the things that you know you should be doing, which makes you feel like shit again, which again, you don't want to do the things that you said you were going to do, and it keeps repeating this cycle of doom. So what you want to do is get yourself around like-minded individuals who are on the same path as you, who are not going to judge you, who are there to help you move forward, even in your darkest times. This is very important because I know you have some people around you that are probably very supportive, but deep down, you know they're judging you for certain things. Or maybe they're just telling you to suck it up and they don't really know how to be there for you, right? So, getting around like minded individuals who are on the same path, who can help you get through the dark times, the tough times, and they'll call you out on your bullshit, but in a loving manner, in a tough love manner. This is what I do with my clients, right? Like, if I see that they're trying to take the easy way out, I'll fucking call them out on their bullshit. And here's the difference. I'm not calling them out. I'm calling them up. I'm calling them up to the highest version of themselves because I know what they're capable of. So I'm able to get into this state of, hey, I fucking love you and I'm going to say something that may fucking hurt you, but it's because I want you to continue growing. I don't want you to give up. I don't want you to become that island. I don't want you to isolate. I don't want you to go back on your fucking self-sabotage. I don't want you to go back on feeling lost. I want you to feel what a disciplined and purpose-driven man feels like. And the only way to do that is if I give you this tough love. So accountability and brotherhood / community are some of the most important things when it comes to growth, especially for us men. And this is precisely why most of the personal development advice fails, is because they're not providing you that tribe and accountability. Knowledge is great, but without action, knowledge ain't shit. Knowledge doesn't light a fire under your ass when you want to quit. It just simply gives you more to put on your plate without actually acknowledging what it takes to become a disciplined and purpose-driven man. So if you're ready to finally stop fucking around and become the man that you know you're fucking meant to be, then I want to invite you to my coaching program. Inside this program, we're going to dial in on your foundation, on your sleep, nutrition, exercise. We're going to build your temple by focusing on the 4 pillars of mind, body, spirit, finances. And we're going to implement these mastery routines so that way you start your day off right and you end your day off right. But more importantly, you're going to get the accountability and the brotherhood that you've been missing out on. So if you're ready to become that disciplined and purpose-driven man, I want you to click the link down below and apply to join the program. And if I feel like we're a good fit and you get accepted into the program, you're going to be surrounded by a bunch of men who are on the same path, who are going to hold you accountable, who are going to show you that tough love when you need it. And you'll also get to spend one-on-one time with me where we'll talk face to face and we're going to attack everything that's stopping you from becoming the best version of yourself. This is your chance to stop walking alone and start walking in alignment. This is your chance to stop feeling lost, stop feeling depressed, stop feeling anxious, and finally become that disciplined and purpose-driven warrior that you know you can be. You no longer have to do this alone. So if you're ready, click the link down below, fill out the form, and we'll take it from there.